Flight boss, bitch, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're gonna get into the motherfucking happy spirit. But first and foremost, the reason why y'all ain't see no uploads from me yesterday and shit like that, man, I was going through some severe fucking shit. I got a motherfucking cramp that got stuck in my upper left shoulder from my bowel obstructions and shit like that. So, but it was almost close to my spine, so I was damn near paralyzed. So, motherfucker, but we ain't gonna talk about that, because that ain't got nothing to do with your spirit, and that ain't got nothing to do with my spirit. But right now, this video is gonna be about the motherfucking happy spirit. So what the fuck is the happy spirit and shit like that? Now, before we even break it down from a circumstance, situation, or a scenario based upon the third dimension so everybody can relate to it, let's talk about it on the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional aspect first. Now look, this happy energy, now it's correlated to the color of yellow. Right now, you probably thinking like, what the fuck? I don't understand this. Now, you need to understand that happiness, people think love is the most powerful thing within this dimension and realm of reality. Love is powerful, and it works like a nuclear bomb, and everybody can fall in love, because once that explode, all y'all fall into that shit. But for the most part, that's not the most powerful energy here. Now, this is what you need to understand. Happiness, that energy signature is the most powerful energy signature in this frequency vibrational wave dance that we are in at the moment, taking different shapes and forms. You know why? Because check this out. The closest star to the star body of water, conscious, current, whatever you want to call it, that you're on at the moment, the closest one to you is the one that you see outside, right? The closest one that y'all call the sun. But that's just the closest star right now. So a bunch of stories and analysis and words and terms been put on it. But right now, you need to just look at it like that's just the closest star to the star that you're on. So or chakra wheel or organ or whatever the fuck you want to call it within the being that you are in. So for the most part, when you're looking at the sun, right? The sun, what do you see? What is the actual reflection? Now, you need to know that we're creating from the inside internally and putting it externally. So what we agree on is based upon our realm of reality, and we all agree to them terms and conditions. So, but you need to know there's an underlying behind the scenes spiritual nature to whatever you're seeing physically in the yang realm first. So if you're seeing the color spectrum of this star giving off emitting the light of yellow, right, you need to know that that comes from an energy signature, that comes from a characteristic, and that characteristic is happiness. Remind you, all stars ain't yellow, all suns ain't yellow. You need to keep that in mind. So for the most part, this star that you are up under is correlated to the happy energy. Now, when we talk about yellow, anytime there's a heavy emphasis of happiness, optimism, wanting to be seen, wanting to shine in some way, shape, or form, wanting to be center stage, getting that fixated way of seeing and feeling about things, and wanting to be seen for that imagination or for that nature or consistency. That is when we talking about the energy spectrum of yellow being emitted. So if everybody is so you could do this in a room full of people. If everybody feeling happy and blissful and optimistic at the same time, y'all gonna start emitting the color spectrum of yellow. That's what you need to understand. Now, since this is the closest star, which y'all call the sun, to this location and space and location that you're on right now, and since it's yellow, since it's the closest, that's going to be the closest frequency vibration that you can tap into. So this is how you could decipher that happiness is actually more powerful than the other spectrums coming from the other stars that's a little more further away, like Venus and things of that nature. Because people argue with me right now and be like, nah, man, you got it fucked up. Love is the most powerful. But here's the thing. No, being satisfied and being happy is most powerful. And here's how you could exclude it in the third dimension. You could get some old grumpy old ass men or women in this world, right? And you might think they're the most negative people that never spread love in the world. But here's the thing, whatever that they're doing maybe genuinely makes them happy. You know what I'm saying? So what makes them happy may not necessarily makes you happy, and what makes them happy might be being old and grumpy and shit like that. So for the most part, whatever analogy or construct you try to throw them in to make them seem like they're bad people, if they're doing what genuinely makes them feel happy within them, regardless how you look at it, then whatever spiritual spell or casting stone you're going to throw at them is not going to affect them. You know what I'm saying? They're still going to be mentally strong enough to go to the realm of reality that they're fixating for themselves on their own anyway, based upon the nature that they're on their own. You see what I'm saying? So this is how you exclude that happiness is actually more powerful than even love. It's somebody that you probably got as a family member or a friend in your life that's doing things that you may not necessarily agree with and you're not willing to compromise with, But for the most part, you might sit back and have conversations with other people and other family members or other friends and like be like, damn, if whatever they're doing makes them happy, then I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? That's as far as you'll go with it. But that's letting you know that you have to, happiness is like kind of more prestigious than love, even hatred. You know what I'm saying? Because a person can feel happy by being hatred, by being angry. So you might be around a person who's always angry, right? But that might make them be happy. When they go home to themselves, they be like, I'm glad I acted that way. You know what I'm saying? So you never know what a person's true state of being is in. So that's what you need to keep in mind. So when we talk about this happy spirit, this happy energy signature is a lot more powerful in this frequency wave that we are in compared to a lot of the other ones that's in the chakra or solar system, you know, like Venus and Mercury and things of that nature. So keep that in mind. Mercury is more about thought and intellect and concept and things of that nature. But for a person can have a dumbass thought that make them happy, and another person look at them like, you stupid as fuck for always falling for what this person is telling you and keeping you in a relationship. But just the thought and imagination in your head that blinds you, if it make you happy, a lot of times that overrides logic. So that overrides Mercury. You know what I'm saying? We could run them down the line. Jupiter is about wisdom and knowledge. A lot of times you go through a lot of experiences that tell you certain advice that expanded your spirit to be like, man, I got enough wisdom and knowledge, and I put enough meanings and reasonings to things to know that this ain't the right experience I need to keep experiencing. But it might be something that you indulging in to make you happy. So a lot of times you kick your experiences and your wisdom and your advice to the side. A lot of times you see you'll kick this reality. Let's go to Saturn. Reality is about Saturn is about how you see reality and gain structure in your life based upon a person, place, or thing, resource, or job, and it's where you place or receive boundaries and restrictions and limits. So for the sake of being happy, you won't even give a fuck about your living conditions or your status or how you construct your day-to-day in your life. If something else making you happy, you might be in a relationship that make you call off work all the goddamn time. So the reality of it is you're not going to be making as much money because you're calling off. But that's the reality of it. That's the Saturn aspect of it. But you're so busy utilizing the warmth of it, you're in the sun aspect of it. And what is the sun? The sun giving off yellow. So it's giving off what? Happy. So you more absorbed in what's being happy and what's the imagination of what can be other than what's the reality of things, because the sun outshines Saturn based upon where you at, because the sun is closer to you where you at. You see what I'm saying? So y'all get where I'm at now? Now let's break this shit down how it plays out in the third dimension, because this is where things get a little tricky, because you got to be motherfucking careful what the fuck you happy about. See, everything is a tool. You need to utilize everything like a motherfucking tool. And if you're not utilizing it like that, somebody else around you going to be utilizing it as a tool against you. And then you're going to be just work like a mechanic while someone else got the tools to make your screws loose every fucking time. AKA, in the third dimension, someone always get the upper hand on you. You always let somebody affect you in some way, shape, or form. Someone always throw you in emotional turmoil. Somebody always put dumb shit on your mind to the point that this person is affecting you more than what you need to be getting into in your own life. So let's talk about motherfucking how this motherfucking happy spirit play out in a lot of different ways, because we in a realm of reality that's vibrating so low. A lot of things that y'all think is good, or a lot of things that y'all think make y'all happy, is a lot of things that y'all manifest in y'all life to make y'all feel like, why the fuck is this happening to me? Here's why. Sit back and think about how many things are you actually happy for. You know what I'm saying? You're not really necessarily happy for anything but shit that happened to you. I mean, and shit that you want. It has to be somebody you're close to and you could kind of resonate with their idea and imagination, and you could kind of feel how they feel if they was to accomplish that. And then that's the only time you really can necessarily be happy for that person, that family member, or that friend. But when you sit back and think about it, you still don't be necessarily 100% happy. You know what I'm saying? It takes a real genuine person to be 100% happy. A person will always find some type of detail or criticism to analyze and construct out of the true 100% happiness of the energy that they can give to somebody. Now, this is what you need to understand. Since happiness is one of the what is the most powerful energy here, is going to attract the fastest. So this is what you need to understand. Sit back and think about how much shit you are happy for, and think about all the entertainment that you're into. Think about all the kind of conversations that you're into. You happy to have certain kind of conversations. Think about those conversations. Think about when something negative happened on the internet and things of that nature, right? You get juiced up and be like, oh shit, look at this fucked up dumbass person or this fucked up dumbass bitch and things of that nature, right? And it makes you feel genuinely happy. Even if you're not using the logical words and you think you're not expressing it in the yang realm in a certain way. You need to understand you do what you resonate with. And if something genuinely makes you feel happy without you even utilizing the words, you need to know that's still the energy signature. You're still utilizing that tool, and you're utilizing the more powerful effect of it because you're utilizing your feminine vessels to do it, your internal realm to do it. You're not even always using your external realm to get happiness. And then that's not always good also, because when you use too much external or physical or looking or searching attributes to find happiness, a lot of times it plays out into it being back to supported by an external person, place, or thing. And when this external person, place, or thing don't be in your life at that specific moment when you want to feel happy, you feel like you're not happy because you gave your happiness power to these people, places, and things. So when they're not around, you don't have that source. So you feel lack of happiness. You see what I'm saying? So you need to develop your own happiness, but then you need to balance that also. Because be careful what the fuck you happy for. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people be happy for negative circumstances that happen to others. So here's what happens when you are happy, right? When you are happy, this is the fastest way to tap into a frequency vibration. Now, what is a frequency vibration? It's a concept, an idea. What is a concept, an idea? The shit that you see every day. The shit that puts shit on your mind. When you experience shit, you develop a conscious body, and because now you got that shit on your mind, right? So when you see certain things, that's on your mind now, right? Now, depending on what radio station you tweak what you just received in, keep that in mind. You can tweak it in the love, the hate, the experience, like to try to get some wisdom, the logic of it, the rationality, the reality of it, or you could tweak the happiness of it. Is it something that you truly happy about? You know what I'm saying? Now, if it's something that's negative, that happened negative to someone else, but you look at that like it's happy, when you receive that thought and then tap it onto the radio station of happiness, what happens is you're in that frequency vibration of whatever you felt happy about, right? So you end up manifesting that experience, that same or similar experience. You know what I'm saying? Because happiness is powerful. So it's attraction. It's like light. So for the most part, light attract other light. And that's the fastest light in here because it's the closest one to you. So when you get happy about something, you attract that same frequency vibration to you way faster. Now, count on your hands how many times you was happy for someone else's success and you was happy for someone else's downfall. And then calculate how many times did you experience a similar situation to either or. And then you're going to start getting a hint like, oh, okay. See, when you be truly happy for something that's negative that happens, all you do is manifest that same scenario and circumstance to you by default because you tapped into that frequency vibration and you're using one of the strongest energy frequencies here, which is the yellow spectrum, which is happy. So if you're truly happy, you know what I'm saying, you're truly going to manifest that scenario. See, the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension don't care about what illusion you in and what you think should appear to be. It just care about the true state of being you are in. That's why I be telling y'all about be careful about praying. Because the only reason you praying because you feel like there's a predator out there. So you leave yourself open. So for the most part, you don't pray. You're supposed to make affirmations. So you see what I'm saying? So when you praying for things, the universe is not looking at the illusion of what you're praying for. It's looking at what kind of state of being you're in. And a lot of times when y'all be praying for things, y'all be in down state of beings. Y'all be in negative state of beings. Y'all be in needing state of beings. So the state of being is what the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional beings is going to pick up. So regardless of what you asking for, you may be asking for a better living condition. But your state of being of while you're asking for that is in a real down and negative one and needing one. So the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension gonna be like, oh, okay, let me put this person in more circumstances and situations. You always gonna get what you ask for. You always gonna get what you ask for. Y'all just don't be knowing what y'all asking for because y'all too lost in the logic and rationality in the physical realm. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, you need to understand that it's just looking at that. So it's going to give you more of what your state of being. It's going to expand your space, expand your spirit with more of those rotations and circumstances and situations. So until you sit back and say, fuck this illusion, I feel how I want to feel. And then you make an affirmation and be like, thank you. I feel great. This is the best feeling I ever felt in my life. Regardless of how you feeling, slowly but shortly, you going to get that experience. You going to get that experience. So you have to act like it is as it already is, even if it ain't. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you make affirmation. That's how you psych the universe. That's how you trick the program, and that's how you actually reach your ancestors or your or the right spirit you should be following in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. Or if you found yourself, you can tell yourself this in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. You be talking to yourself, and then you can have friends up there that a lot of times you don't have friends that like to take over gullible people. If you are a gullible person, the same way it'll play out down here. You gullible. You know what I'm saying? That means in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, when you think you're talking to yourself, no, you think somebody else told you something. You like, oh, this person told me this, or God told me this, or I got this word, or I got this message. That's you in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension listening to other motherfuckers. So in the third dimension, it plays out as you saying somebody else told you that in your mind. You know what I'm saying? So it's levels to this shit. You know what I'm saying? So you need to understand that there is everybody in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. Don't think you not there. That's where you came from. That's the reason you got a physical body, because you controlling your third dimensional body from that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you need to understand. But it's like you're trying to go up. It's like you're trying to be a Lucifer. So you're trying to take a fleshly fluid up there to that realm of reality to experience it a lot longer than just being fast as just a spirit. You know what I'm saying? So you're trying to go up in the levels of lives, into the spirit realms with a physical form in some way, shape, or form. So this is what we call creation. This is what we call imagination. This is what we call magic. This is what we call music. This is what we call magician. This is what we call this is what we call what everybody is trying to do, the demiurge. This is what we call sustaining. This is what we call life. Period. Yang, masculine. All that is under the same frequency vibration. Just playing out in different realms and realities and different planes of existences in different ways. And depending on which one that you lost in, that's going to be the one that you're trying to defend. So you need to be careful with trying to defend something that you're not the intellectual property of. And if you don't own those rights, you always going to be looked at as an oppressor. You always going to be looked at as a person that's trying to defend something. You're always going to be looked at as a person that can't fully get across your clear mind on whatever you are lost or indoctrinated in. You know what I'm saying? Because just for that simple fact in general, you know what I'm saying, you have to be very careful. Be very careful. Just like the form of apologetics and people who are into apologetics. That is just men utilizing too much logic for things that they truly do not understand, right? And then the logic that they're coming up with was created by man. So for the most part, this is how you become lost in general. Like, that is the foundation of becoming lost. But these people will be the same people who will say, no, you need apologetics to actually understand what's actually going on. So you need to understand, like, religious people and things of that nature are truly not spiritual. People who are in apologetics are not spiritual. They don't have a soul. They're truly trying to understand everything from a logical standpoint, where when they to themselves, they truly understand what's going on. But in order to defend whatever they're indoctrinated in, they have to get into a form of apologetics, aka utilizing logic to understand a realm that they truly do not understand. So you know what I'm saying, they want to be seen as the goal or the flag or the headship of the actual indoctrination of the lostness. They want to be the leaders of the lostness, and that's when we can't really get into that. We have to get into concepts where we understand whole totality of things. You know what I'm saying? Once we start to understand whole totality of things, a lot of these lords and under powers and deities do not hold weight. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't even be able to have an imagination of a deity or being that's more powerful than anyone that was created before. I shouldn't even be able to have that idea if that idea doesn't exist anywhere. So, you know, it doesn't exist in some way, shape, and form. So in some way, shape, and form, that's an actual existence. So we do not need to be clinging on to anything that actually drains you and makes you have to pray and take things from you and drink your blood and actually put you in a real legion. You know what I'm saying? Which is a religion, a real legion. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be in a legion of doom. You know what I'm saying? Based upon every cycle of life that you go through. Because you never find yourself. You always following someone else who found themselves first. And trying to teach you how to find yourself. But you get lost into thinking you can't find yourself. And this is a bunch of different This is a bunch of different attributes that I don't even actually want to get into. But when we talk about the happy spirit, you need to be careful what the fuck you be happy about. Because a lot of things that y'all motherfuckers be happy about is the shit that you manifest right into your life. So when you sit back and think about the bad circumstances and situations that's going on, think about how many times you was happy that some dumb shit happened to somebody else. You see what I'm saying? Also, when we talk about the good things that happen in your life, and think about how many times you was genuinely happy to see somebody else in that position, especially if it's a position that you want. You know what I'm saying? If you could set all that illusion aside and truly be happy, you're stepping into the frequency vibration of getting ready to manifest that same scenario. You know, so you need to be strong enough to understand that. See, in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, it's all about strength. It's all about motherfucking strength. And if you don't have no strength and you get weak and weak based upon the things that you are around, the asteroids that's hitting you, aka the circumstances and situations that's hitting you hard in the third dimension, you know what I'm saying? If that's always turning and making you justify and making you analyze and construct things in other kind of ways, that's a form of weakness. You need to have a sense of strongness, regardless of whatever illusion or vibe a person throw at you, in order to start making you feel like, oh, this is the way you're supposed to feel about something, or this is the way you're supposed to think about something. And if you show your true state of being of how you really feel about something, you put yourself out there like on a cross. Now you start to feel vulnerable. Now you start to feel like you did something you wasn't supposed to do. Now you start to feel untrustworthy. Now you don't got faith. Now you can't put your full energy in the world. And it's like a separate energy in general. You have to understand that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, this shit is deep on beyond levels when we talk about the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. You know what I'm saying? And these energies. But the happy spirit, you got to be careful what you happy about. So always be happy about your true state of being. Now, if your true state of being is a negative one, and you always truly happy about gossip and shit that's happening wrong to others and things of that nature, then you just got to be aware of what's about to manifest in your motherfucking life. Same circumstances, situations, so you can continue giving your energy to that and continue to have conversations to talk about with that shit, so you stay in that routine pattern of conversation, outlook, and actions that's playing out in your goddamn life. Or you could start to be happy about some genuine shit and start to reconstruct your mind onto things and start to realize and sit back and think to yourself, wait a minute, am I a hater? You know what I'm saying? Really ask yourself that. That might be a rhetorical question. Am I a hater? You know what I'm saying? And sit back and start to reconstruct what the fuck do you actually hate and what the fuck do you actually love. And if you actually love it, like me, I love all this shit. Everybody who's talking on the internet, everybody who's doing anything, kicking any kind of knowledge, any kind of shit, I love all that shit. So I express my happiness about that. I don't go express happiness about someone who may have everybody turned against, or everybody looked back on, or everybody, you know what I'm saying, or this, that, and third. No, that ain't nothing to be happy about. If I'm gonna be happy about that, I'm gonna have to get prepared for that to happen to me. You see what I'm saying? But recorrelate that into your life, and it's a play out in so many different ways. You know what I'm saying? And the people who are already elevated, y'all will be able to take this video and go a lot further with it in places and the crevices and the details and the analyzing and the Virgo, all the Virgo energies I didn't really get able to put out in this video. You know what I'm saying? Y'all could build on it in your own life. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn, man. Oh, shit.